just at first glance, I just look at this matchup. Obviously, Auburn wants to get up and down and take a bunch of threes, and Virginia wants to just slow the roll there, and they're not going to allow the amount of threes that Auburn wants to take. Now, Virginia played Purdue. Now, even though it was an overtime game, Purdue did find ways to get the threes off. Now, Carson Edwards was taking 30-footers, but they took, I believe they took 32 threes in that game, which is 11 more than what Virginia usually allows. What's your take on this matchup? It's certainly a contrast in styles.
It is. It's an absolute contrast in styles. And watching the Bruce Pearl press conference, I flew in last night, so I was watching stuff online, and Bruce Pearl was, Bruce Pearl he can work a microphone. He's smooth. But he kind of had this raw, real, genuine moment where he basically said, I don't know exactly what we're going to be able to do in this game. Are we going to try to come out and do our thing and dictate the style, or do we have to pull things? Credit, they changed their pace a little bit in that last game against Kentucky. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, I like Virginia. I like them in this game. Obviously, it's college basketball. It's one game and anything can happen. But with what Virginia does, and you're right. I mean, Carson Edwards had a day, but good Lord, you can't bank on what he was doing. You can't be Bryce Brown or you can't be Jared Harper and say, right, hey, I'm going to go out there and take those 30, 32-footers. So that's what Virginia does, and they're percentage defense. Auburn likes to move it up and down the floor. So, yeah, I like this game. I like this setup for Virginia. But if you get a situation with Brown or Harper getting hot, then it obviously becomes a different story. Virginia's not going to back away from their pace. I think it's more what Auburn tries to dictate or tries to counter with.
Yeah. Is there a sense psychologically that they got over the hump, they're in the Final Four, now they're free rolling?
I don't think so, and I'll tell you why. I was with this team down in Columbia when VCU and Virginia were down there, and you can almost feel just when they cut to 6 against Gardner-Webb at the half, and the players talked afterwards, and no one was screaming, no one was yelling. We said, look, just go do what we do. You can almost feel in the postgame, it was just this massive exhale. It felt like a pressure and the weight in the room had been lifted. They played carefree against Oklahoma. They didn't shoot great against Oregon, but they found a way to win. And history says, I even joked, I was talking to my neighbor before the Purdue game. Somebody asked me, what do you think about Virginia? I said, look, Kyle Guy's got to get hot again, and they have to avoid the Charlie Brown moment because for fate over the past couple of years, it's taken them and been like Lucy pulling the football away. They finally had a moment where they kicked the football. They found a way to win and not to lose. And I just hearing from these guys, talking to these guys, it was like awesome. But that's not enough. Like we're here to win this. This whole thing wasn't about being from one of the first out to the Final Four. It was, hey, we're going to win that. We want to win the national championship. I don't think anybody's satisfied, and I think that goes back to how Tony Bennett runs this team and how these guys buy in. There's such a level of even keel that they could celebrate Monday, they could celebrate Tuesday, but I think they have pulled it back in to realize that there's a bigger picture. They've known that there's a bigger picture and a bigger goal with this team.
All right, real quick, what's your pick in the second game?
I'm going to go off to the way that Virginia has overcome these ghosts, the 16 being down double digits to get into the Final Four. It only feels proper that they end up facing Michigan State in the finals because Michigan State knocked them out back-to-back years. They were kind of that wall in front of Virginia. Very almost like Caps Penguins like. I was going to bring this up on my show today. How the Caps got over all their ghosts last year. It's set up right in front of them. Yep. It feels that way with Virginia. I'll take Virginia and Michigan State on Monday night.
All right, Wes, you can listen to them afternoons in Richmond on 910 The Fan. Thanks, pal.
Thank you, Wes. Appreciate it, buddy.
Yep.
Enjoy
right,
Minneapolis.
Yeah, I kind of agree with him. I just think that UVA now, they got past Gardner-Webb and especially beating Purdue the way they did. Now it's a real opportunity. And I guarantee you Tony Bennett thinks they're the best team in the tournament still in the Final Four, especially since Duke is out. You know, they certainly didn't want to face Duke in the championship. But they're the best team, in my opinion, out of the four. So see if they can get it done.